Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you are still having a wonderful day. Y'all, let's do some awesome crafting. Stay tuned. So I hope that you guys are super excited about the kickoff of the 50K Fun Run Extravaganza. I know that I am, and I've got some really wonderful and fun things planned. But today I am going to switch gears just a little bit because I am kicking off my Mother's Day crafting. You know, Mother's Day is right around the corner, and I thought it would be nice if we just started this week off with some fantastic Mother's Day crafting. Whether it's for your own mom, a sister, a girlfriend, a teacher, or whomever it may be. This is going to be a spectacular paper craft that we do today, and I am going to bring it in and show it to you guys. Isn't this bouquet just magnificent? I was so proud of it when I first introduced it last year, and I am equally as proud of it today. I love the construction technique of this, and I have simplified it just a little bit, so I'm going to share that with you guys today. But this is the gift that keeps on giving because they don't need watering, they don't need tending, they're not going to die on you, and this would make an awesome addition to someone's desk or to a girlfriend, a mom, a sister, a teacher, whomever. They would love getting this, and I am going to show you guys how easy, absolutely easy it is to make this. Let's get started. Okay guys, let's go through what we're going to need to make this project. We are going to need some chipboard pieces, not very many. You can make this project with less than a full sheet of chipboard. So we are going to need 2 pieces that measure 2 by 4. We need 1 piece that measures 4 by 3 1/4. We have 1 piece that measures 2 1/4 by 4 1/8, and we have 1 piece that measures 6 by 4 1/8. Then for the paper, we are going to need some strips that measure 2 by 12, and how many of these strips you will need will totally depend on how many leaves you want to add to your project. I used 3 12 by 2 strips for my project. Then we are going to need 3 pieces of 4 by 4 cardstock. Then I'm using some decorative paper. I have a piece that measures 3 5/8 by 4 1/4, and then I have 2 pieces that measure 1 7/8 by 4 1/4. Then I have a piece that measures 8 1/2 by 9 1/2, and this is just cardstock. Then I have a decorative piece that measures 12 by 12. And so now we can start putting our project together. So the first thing that I recommend that you do is go ahead and get all of your prep work out of the way. And by prep work, I mean go ahead and construct your flowers and your greenery. And I am going to show you guys how to make each one of these without the use of a die cutting system. I used a punch to punch this out, but if you don't have a punch, I will also have a flower template available as a part of that PDF. So let's get started on making these 3. So we are going to start with our leaves first. So just bring in your 2 by 12 inch piece of paper. You don't even have to score it, and fold it in half just like this. Then I am going to take my scissors, and all I'm doing is however you want your leaf shape to be, go ahead and cut it out. So I'm cutting on the folded end. This is just like we used to do in school when we would cut out our snowflakes and our little people joined together. It is that simple to make your leaves. So once you have your leaves made, you need one of your stems, and all I'm going to do is add hot glue to that stem. And I like to take my first one and place it at the top, just like that. And then I'll take another leaf, add some hot glue to the back, And then how you choose to space these on here is completely up to you, but I'll put it down and hold it so that it's on just like that. So I like to put 3 leaves on mine. You don't have to. You can put as many or as few as you want, or you don't even have to have greenery on your project. But just hold it down just like this. And then once we've got those down, all I'm going to do is put some hot glue on the back. So all I'm doing is taking my leaves and laying them down in the hot glue. And so that's how we create the leaves. Now when you finish, if you see that you've got a little bit of overhang and you're not happy with how it looks, just come back and trim up your leaf and turn it into what you want it to be. Now in my bouquet, I have 4 of these. So if you want that same look, create this 4 times. Okay, so to make our flowers, I used a 2-inch petal punch, and it measures 2 inches. So if you're cutting these out on your Cricut and you want them to have the same size, this is a 2-inch flower. So I have 4 of these. So what we need to do is we need to take 2 of them, and on one of them I am going to remove this piece, and on another I will remove these 2 pieces. So I'm going to cut these out now. So now I have this, and we can put this flower together. So all you need to do is take glue, place it on a petal, then take this and fold it over until one petal meets the other. Just like that. And we'll do it on this one as well. Just fold it over until you have this look. So you'll have one like this and one like this. So on the one that has 3 petals on it, I am going to snip off just a tiny bit of the bottom. So what I did was I took that point off, and then I will come over to this one and do the same thing. So I am going to take a little bit of my hot glue, place hot glue on the bottom, just like that. And then I'm going to take this and just stick it down inside of the other one and let that dry. And then once it's dry, I will take hot glue, place it on the back of that one, and then I'll just pick up one that I have laying out flat, put it down, and then once my petal is dry, I am going to take my hot glue, and I have placed some hot glue on the back. I'll take my stem, put my stem down, then I'll take this piece to cover the back. So now let's make the spiral rose, which is this. So I am starting with the 4x4 square, and all I do is take that square and just try to make it round. The circle doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to start out with it being round. Okay, so you can see my circle isn't perfect, and that's okay because you don't want a perfect look on a flower like this. So once you have this shape or a shape similar to it, come in on the end here, and you're going to cut in just like that. Then once you've got that cut in going, just start cutting in and turning it until we get to a point that we need to stop, and I'll show you that point in just a minute. So when I'm doing my cut in, I'm really trying to cut in so that my spiral gets wider and wider. Okay, so once we get down to the end point where we need to stop, you're going to be left with this, and it'll look like a comma. And this is how it's supposed to look. So you're going to have that. Now what I do is very simple. I have paper that has a light pink side and then a dark pink side. I want the pink side to be on the inside. So that means that it needs to be facing me when I start my spiral. So I am going to take my hand and just kind of tease that tip just a little bit. And then I'm going to just kind of fold it in. If you have a quilling tool, you can use that, but I am fine just doing this. So once we get it started, all you're going to do is start rolling it and going around and just following the shape of that spiral that you created. But when you're rolling, make sure that you keep the bottom portion here even with the inside bottom as you're going around. And just keep turning and turning until we get to that comma. Okay, so when we get to the end, all I'm going to do is just grab it like this and hold this piece in my hand so that it doesn't unravel. Then I'm going to bring it over, and what I did was I smeared glue on the head part of that comma, and I am going to set it down at this point and just place it in that glue, and then just kind of release it a little bit, but not totally. And then I'm going to press it into the glue to make sure that it stays stuck. Alright guys, so that's dry, and we need to bring in another 7-inch 18 gauge floral wire. And all I'm going to do is I added some glue to the back, and I'm simply going to place that in. I am going to set these to the side because now we can make the actual vase that's going to hold these. Okay, so to make our vase, I am bringing in my 12 by 12 piece of paper and my 2 1/4 by 4 1/8 and my 6 by 4 1/8 piece. And all I'm going to do is take this and place it down. So I'll take my 6 by 4 1/8 inch piece, place it down, then I will come down about 1/8 of an inch and place my 2 1/4 by 4 1/8 inch piece. And now all I'm going to do is fold just like this. And then I'll trim off just a little bit here at the bottom because we really don't need all of that. And I'm going to go ahead and miter these ends. And then I'll miter here as well. So I'm going to just cut there first, and then I'll turn it, and I'm going to cut in very slightly, just like that. And then let's do the same thing over here. So I am going to just cut in as if I was doing a miter cut from here to here, but I'm not. I'm just going to cut right here. And then I'll take this piece and I'll angle in very, very lightly. So now I can take my glue, and on 3 sides I can go ahead and close it and fold over my edges. Okay, so once we have the 3 edges folded over, we're not going to fold this over just yet. The first thing that I'm going to do is, very rarely will you see me place glue on the chipboard directly on large pieces, but this is one of those times that I'm going to do that because it's not that big of a piece and there won't be warping. If it was a very large piece and I placed a lot of glue on it, I might run into some warping. So now that I have glue on this, all I'm going to do is fold it over. So now that I've got it folded over, I am going to use my finger blade to trim off that excess. And then I will make sure that I get my spine nice and defined on this. And now we have the base. We can set this to the side. Okay guys, so now we need to take our 8 1/2 by 9 1/2 inch piece of cardstock, and to that we are going to add our 4 by 3 1/4 inch piece of chipboard. And then we will take one of the 2 by 4 inch pieces, place it on the side with about 1/8 of an inch in spacing, and then we'll take the second 2 by 4 piece and place it on the side with about 1/8 of an inch in spacing. I am going to remove my excess paper and flare out. So I am going to place some tape on this, and I'll be right back. And now that I have my tape on this, all I'm going to do is take this, stand it up, and flip it over. I'll use my bone folder to make sure I've got everything nice and stuck. And then I'll trim away my excess paper. And so we now have the front portion of our box, and all I'm going to do is start bending it to get it into shape. So then once we have it into shape, we are going to take it and glue it down just like this. So I am going to go ahead and add my glue to the bottom only. That's where we'll start. So I'm going to run a bead of glue all the way across the bottom. Okay, so now that I have my glue on, I'll bring this back in. I am going to take this and basically get it stuck down, but I want to make sure that the sides are hitting where the spine is. So I will bring this close to me so I can kind of look at it. And luckily I'm using reptile glue, so it's going to dry clear. And then I will place it down just like this, and then I'll maneuver it into shape wherever I want it to be. And I think that's perfect. So I am just going to hold this and press down until it dries. So basically what I did was I wanted to make sure that I was even on the front 3 sides. Okay guys, so our base is dry enough for us to proceed with adding glue to the side panels here. So I am going to do the same thing on this raw edge of chipboard. I am going to place a bead of glue, and then I'll just bring up that back and hold everything in place until it sticks, and then I'll just set it to the side and let it dry. Alright guys, so this is dry enough for me to start working with. So let's bring in our piece that measures 3 5/8 by 4 1/4, and then the 2 pieces that measure 1 7/8 by 4 1/4. So what I'm going to do is place some glue at the top. Then I will take this, place it on my chipboard piece here, and try to get it centered on the 2 sides. And I'm just going to press down with my bone folder to get that glue nice and spread out. I'll flip this on the side, and I am going to do the same thing. So I am going to place some glue right at the top. I'll take this piece, I'm going to place it right here, and I'm going to try to get even spacing again. Flip it over to this side and do the same thing. Okay, so then once I have all 3 pieces down, I'll come back to the first one. I am going to place some glue on the bottom, just like this. And now I'll take this piece, and I'm simply going to grab it like right here in the middle and just bring it up so that it rests on top of my base. And then I can take it and lay it down. It really is that simple. And I'll use my bone folder to get my glue spread out. And now you can see I've got my cute little pot belly shape. And I'll do the same thing on my side. So I'll take my glue, then I'll pick it up in the middle, lay it on top of the lip of the base, and let it get stuck down. Use my bone folder to get that glue worked in, and I can do the same thing over here. So I will take my glue, place glue on the bottom here, pick this up, lay it inside of the lip, and just like that, we have got a gorgeous, gorgeous little vase here. Okay guys, so it is now time for us to go to the flower shop and put these together. So I have my 4 stems of greenery, I have 3 spiral roses, and I have 5 of these flowers. So here's what we're going to do. I have my little vase here, and then I have a piece of styrofoam that'll fit down on the inside, and all I'm going to do is add some hot glue to the bottom of this so that when I drop it inside, I don't have to worry about it going anywhere. So I am going to press that down and get that stuck. And then what I've done is I've taken some reptile glue and I have simply placed a little bit on a scrap piece of paper because I'll be using that to dip my flowers in it so that they don't move. So what I did was I nipped off just a little bit of this, and I am going to take this spiral rose and place one right here in the front, just like that. So knowing where I want to place it, I'm going to put some reptile glue on the end, stick it down on the inside, and that way when that reptile glue dries, this is not going anywhere. So now I'll take my other two spiral roses and I am going to place one right here, and then I am going to place one on the other side. So now you can see I've got the roses in place. Then basically what I'm doing is I am following the way that I have this built. So then I am going to take my pink flowers here and I'm going to trim off a little bit of the bottom. I took off about 1 inch on 2 of them. So then I'm going to place them in the glue, and I'll take one, put it here in the front. I'll take the other one, put it here in the front. And you can see that I'm starting to build my bouquet. Okay, so now I'll take another one of the pink ones, and what I'm going to do is place it right behind this one, but because it's taller, it'll sit up higher. So I am going to get that stuck in, and you can see how that one sits up in the back. Then I'll take these other two here, and I am simply going to place them at the back, just like this. And how you place yours, completely up to you. And let's do the last one. I'm going to run it in my glue and put it in. And so you can see that we've got the flowers in. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and add the greenery. And I use my greenery to just basically fill in where I might have gaps. So I am going to take a piece of my greenery, trim a little off because I don't want it to be taller than the flowers, and I'll take that greenery, I'm going to stick it right in there, just like that. Then I'll take another piece of my greenery, I'm going to trim some off the end, just like you would if you were putting flowers in a vase at home. Dip it in my glue. Of course, you wouldn't dip your flowers in a vase at home in glue, but these are fake, so that's what we're going to do. Take my glue, put it on my flower, and I'll tuck that stem right in there, just like that. Now I want to take a stem, and I'm going to remove some of it, roll it around in my reptile glue, and I am going to position this one closer to the front. So I'm really going to tuck that down in there. And then I'll come back after I get my greenery in and we'll straighten up all of these flowers. So I'll take my last one, trim some off. I'm going to add just a little more glue there. Roll it around in my glue. And then I'll just take this wherever I think I might need some coverage and put it in. And now you can see that we have this sweet little bouquet. So now I'll just start shaping it so it looks the way that I want it to look. And I think that that's pretty cute right there. So I am going to take this sweet little butterfly and just clip him to one of the flowers, and then I'll just kind of open up a wing. I can open up one, but I can't open both. So you can see we've got that sweet little butterfly in there. So now I'm going to use some shredded paper just to fill in the gaps. Doesn't really take a whole lot, but it all depends on that look that you're going for. So I'll take some of my shred and just tuck it in different spots. And oh my, I think that is just so delightful and so cute. You can see just how gorgeous that little bouquet is. I am going to pick up this extra shred and put it back in my bag. And on my other bouquet, I trimmed out a strip that is 1/4 of an inch by 12 and just created myself a little border. I'm going to do the same thing here. I should have done this before I put that shredded paper in there, but I didn't even think about it. So now that I've got my glue on there, I am going to take this, place it right here, try to get it even so that I have an even wraparound, and then I'll pick it up and just smooth that down, move any shredded paper out of the way so it doesn't go underneath, and then I'm just going to wrap it around all the way to the back. And you can see that gives you a nice little finished touch to the front of this vase. But when you get to the back side of the vase, you've got a section that isn't quite meeting, and that's okay because we're going to fix that. So I have added glue to the back of this butterfly, and I'm going to add him to the back. He's decorative, but he also serves a purpose because he covers up where we had that gap of our paper not quite being long enough. So now you can see that we have this gorgeous, gorgeous little flower bouquet. And the last thing that I want to do is I am going to take my little saying that says it's your special day, and I am going to pop that up right there with one of my mini clothespins. And I think that that is absolutely fabulous. So you guys can see just how easy it is to make this sweet little paper flower bouquet, and it packs such a mighty little punch. And I am going to bring the other one back in so you can see just how gorgeous our paper flower bouquets are. Guys, these are spectacular, second to none. They are spectacular. So I hope that you have liked this project. If you have, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join my online crafting family. You guys have a great day. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.